Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. We have a freebie free here for you on La Fiera, I think it's called. Let's go for the players, shall we? On the Axis side we have Smokey playing as the Waffen-SS, Muru playing as the Waffen-SS, and Eric playing as the Waffen-SS. None of who have picked a commander yet, so this should be fun. Oh, Smokey has gone for Propaganda, Muru has not gone for anything yet, and neither has Eric. On the Allied side we have... where is it? There we go. Dix as US Rifle Company. Fry as US Rifle Company. And Charlie as the US without having picked a commander yet. But two US Rifle Companies. The big red one is coming in force. I suppose the blue and gray are going to be present too. This is going to be a lot of units early on. Smokey went Propaganda. And the other two SS has not picked anything yet. So a lot of Sturm. This is going to be a very interesting match because free SS versus a free US is going to mean a lot of firepower. The SS is going to have to be very careful though, because if they lose a lot of units early, they could be in a very bad position. Looks like there's going to be a fight here for the town between Muru and Charlie. Once riflemen start coming, that could be an issue. But there's a Kubelwagen coming, and the Sturm Grenadiers are finally getting to the front. But the riflemen might be able to get into good positions. Looks like they want to use the buildings, which might not be the best position here, because the lack of windows. And having the Sturm Pioneers there and the Kubelwagen is going to provide a lot of firepower in a small area. Also the fact that he's being shot at from the side here by Eric's Sturm Grenadiers. That rifleman squad might not get out of there. Oh, looks like they will. Very nice. Now the big red one is engaging, and it looks like we have Panzerjäger for Muru, and we have Panzer for Eric. Okay, now everyone has picked their roles, and the US has got. This is tank, I think. Tank destroyer. Okay, right, two rifle and a tank destroyer. This is going to be a very fascinating game, and yeah, the Americans are pushing up here quickly, throwing pineapples and moving from cover to cover. Yeah, the Germans need to just get out of there. Smokey cannot hold that position. He's under too much fire. The big red one has put him on the back foot here. The Totenkopf is gonna have to set up a fighting position somewhere here. The blue and gray are quickly just pushing up and digging in. Supported by one squad from the big red one. But this is a lot of M1 American Jeep on the fields, with a vertical. Fighting the Kubelwagen there. The vertical Jeep threatening the German position. Riflemen rushing up, throwing a pineapple. That Sturm Grenadier squad start noticing. Oh, that's lethal. Oh, and they got mowed down in a few seconds there. The Leibstandard are not going to do well. We also have some Hitler Youth coming in, and some 17 Division Grenadiers coming in too to try and take up the front. And while the US is just slowly creeping up here, pinning down the 17th SS. And the blue and gray is slowly pushing up on the Leibstandard here, having quite a bit of a long firefight. But the Leibstandard in this position should be able to hold for a while. Especially at this range. We'll have to see how that goes. The Americans are relentless, continuing to push. Hitler Youth already getting in trouble here. They get from the side. Blue and Gray are starting to lose their cover. The Totenkopf are actually doing a good job here. They're not getting a lot of kills, but now there's a 30 cal coming up too. Sturm Pioneers are going to try and help show up the front line. Yeah, he's targeting cover as it gets built. That is very smart, but now the MG is set up. An MG08 has been called in armed by the Dogsturm. Probably not the best one, but it might suffice. But the Sturm Grenadiers are being pinned. Another 30 cal here. Right out in the open though, not the best position. The Sturm Grenadiers being armed with STGs. Hitler Youth and the Leibstandard, they're not doing too well. Yes, this is not going to be able to hold this position forever, I think. Especially not while they're suppressed. Volksturm being delegated to try and hold the flanks alongside the Totenkopf.
Combat unit ready.
The SS are having a little bit of trouble holding this forest line. The Americans are pushing up relentlessly again. We need to see what the SS are going to do to try and hold the line. Not looking too good for them currently. The Americans are just pushing up relentlessly.
Riflemen are now equipped with observation packages.
Vertical's been set up here again too.
We got a rifle squad.
That truck is not in a good position if it keeps moving out there. Meanwhile, the Americans set up a little bit more of a front line here with a recon squad being positioned too to keep an eye on the Germans.
Frag grenades now available for action.
A lot of vertical here. A lot of verticals been set up to cover the flanks of the US. Which is a smart move. Like these Leibstandard are going to notice. Kugelwagen with a 42 though, but they're going to get shut out immediately.
Light vehicle destroyed.
17 for this. SS are preparing to move again. But the recon probably has eyes on them. Or the Americans over here gonna... That's three verticals actually. One is an MG08, I think. No, they're all verticals. Oh, because he did manage to save his weapon, right? That's a lot of machine guns in one area. Holy shit! But the great assault is coming on the flank. Oh, and that's the blue and gray dead. These storm pioneers from Muro might be able to flank and threaten this entire American position. One more Americans are coming in. They're preparing. They're waiting for another great assault, I think. He's pulling back. He's noticing he cannot hold that position much longer. But he killed quite a few blue and gray squads. The Germans have been pushed back really hard here. And that's going to be a dead storm pioneer. Mortar coming in for the SS. Oof. Truck coming in with some more riflemen. Also going to allow the Americans to reinforce in the field. Americans are taking in with 50 cal emplacements now. It's gonna be very hard for the Germans to make a comeback from this.
Unit ready.
But American set up his forward command post up here, which is gonna allow him to reinforce in the field without having to run all the way back to base. He has some SS Aufklar coming in too from the forest. Americans are relentlessly pushing again. The big red one ready to take the brunt of the assaults. Mortar coming in at the American position. Very good shot with that mortar right there. Americans are very clumped up. Oh, even an AT gun has arrived. From the 101st Airborne. What? It was airdropped in? Huh. I completely missed that. I suppose that was the plane I saw earlier. Oh, the Americans are really using their smoke a lot too. That's nice to see. Boomer coming in for the... Boomer coming in. That's a grenade straight at an MG34. Didn't kill them all though. Germans are trying to flank this position. But there's too many Americans here. They got the mortar though.
We just lost a unit.
But they're gonna lose a lot of troops there to the machine guns. Unless the mortar hits the machine gun. It's a little too late, unfortunately. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. But it looks like it's gonna be up to the 17th for best to Try and hold this line then. Yeah, well, the Leibstandard are just fighting in the hedgerows. Too much pushing up. There's a lack of AT equipment, except that there's a gun right there. I'm using the building as cover. You can avoid it. The mortar keeps threatening the American position. The Puma probably needs to pull back. 17 vs are pushing up, throwing a grenade. They managed to re-secure the point, but it's a very risky position. Two trucks with the Americans. He's probably called in two trucks with the reinforcement troops then. We have an officer coming up for Smokey here, an Untersturmführer, to try and direct the battle. And more weapons are being airdropped in by looks for the American riflemen to use. Oh, a flamethrower half-track has been called in. A very good decision if you can get rid of that AT gun. Here comes more equipment. Another AT gun and another mortar. And also some equipment being airdropped into the other force here. The Untersturmführer is probably going to call in artillery. Yep. And with that, the flamethrower half-track is going to try and move up. He's probably waiting for the sheet. Yeah. And now with the AT gun destroyed, he should have a lot easier time moving up. But he has a lack of infantry to support it. He's calling in the veterans. That's a very good unit. Probably one of the best units you can get in the game. We couldn't have one of them at a time. And well, the Americans are pushing up here in the center field again. Overrunning this 17th SS Grenadier. Oh yeah, the flamethrower half-track is proven to be really lethal. But he got a shot off. That's all it needed. But the veterans are arriving. If you can set the veterans up here, he could probably murder all these troops. Need to rush to the cover though, but he is out of sprint. But there's going to be a great coming from the rear, man. He needs to pull back from that. But the veterans are getting a lot of kills. The Leibstandard are still just holding out the hedgerows, not much is going on. Americans are pulling up some heavy AT weapons. Well, yeah, it's not looking good for Smokey here. Should perhaps invest in the Stormtroopers or new Storm Grenadiers to support his veterans. Or perhaps even some Volksturm. Germans are still holding the center somehow. More light vehicles are coming in. Another flame half-track. I suppose with the lack of equipment for the Americans here, the flamethrower half-track could make a good comeback here. But what do the Americans currently have to stop it? Nothing. Burning the crew out. A forced to get full retreat for the Americans on this side. The flank is actually entirely open, but another truck with troops are coming in. But he's lost a lot of stuff to keep maintaining that push. We'll come around and straight into a 50 cal. And on another AT gun. The flamethrower half-track should be able to show its prowess here. Just needs to avoid the 50 cal and the AT gun.
We lost a gun crew. Ready for battle. AT gun. Evasive action.
Oh, it survived one shot.
Achieve veterancy
Oh,
level.
another shot missed. Oh, that flamethrower half-track might actually be in a good spot here.
Anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
Volksturm squad got eliminated.
Gun crew has been lost.
Oh, they're trying to mortar it, and they got it. The veteran squad are starting to get a lot of kills still. Already 12 kills. No real fighting on the hedgerows yet, but it looks like the Americans might try to make a push to it with a Greyhound.
There's a
But they're gonna run straight into the Leibstandarte. And the Hitler Youth by looks of it. Yeah, there's a lack of stuff here to stop the Germans at this side. But they are opening themselves to flanking if they just proceed too far. Oh, he actually picked up a vertical. An interesting choice. Certainly looks like that Jack's force has been completely obliterated.
We're losing a capture point. Get ready.
So it looks like the Fry here might have to secure this flank too, while Jax gets some more troops. And while the Leibstandarte are trying to use the advantage of the head rows, they might still be able to make a comeback from this. Pack 40 and Rakettenwerfer. And another Puma has arrived. 17 SS are moving up again.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
You should probably invest in arming the veterans with something. I was just in this position, or what he's fighting, probably armed with Gewehr's and the LMG-42. Or the scoped STGs. That tends to always work good. It looks like the Germans are really wanting to get rid of that emplacement. Some more Totenkopf Sturm Grenadiers has arrived. Oh, 776 coming up for GX here soon. The Leibstandarte are still holding the hedgerows here. Although a lot of them left are holding this position. They are forced the Americans back thanks to the support of this MG. Artillery coming to threaten the American position, but the Americans are firmly dug into this town. Having set up a forward HQ here and here. Sherman A2 has arrived for Charlie. That should potentially be able to threaten the German position here, except that there is a Panzerschreck team, which if done correctly could stop this tank immediately. Looks like the Untersturmführer is desperately trying to make a flanking motion. Doing a good job with that stolen vertical actually. But the mortar shells are landing. He has to get out of there. Volkssturm has arrived to shore up the front line. Leibstandarte is still holding them in the forest. They've gotten a Panzer II Lux. And more Shermans are arriving for the Americans. Soon the tanks are going to roll onto the field and the SS are going to feel it. A Hetz has arrived though, which could provide them a little bit of help against enemy tanks. Oh, they also took up one of the positions. That's good. That's going to allow them a lot more free movement over there. One has been spotted by the Sherman.
Ready. Go ahead. Those are crowd mortars. You're ready. Send orders.
Gets us moving up towards the Sherman.
Alert! Enemy infantry.
Let's look against them being the most successful currently. And a 76 Sherman coming up behind. Oh, Puma got a good penetrating shot. But the 76 hit the Puma. Not looking too well here. And there goes the Hetzer. The veteran squad is somehow taking this point under heavy fire. But they took it. They probably have to get out of there though. That's a very costly squad to replace. Looks like the 17th SS are preparing for a push though. Stormtroopers arriving. Meanwhile, we still have somewhat of a Cold War going on in the hedgerows. Looks like the Americans might be wanting to break that now and push through. Pushing on to the Leibstandarte. And the Hitler Youth armed with a flamethrower. That's actually a really good call here. It's just they can just throw grenades over the hedgerow. That's a grenade right there. Didn't do much. Not looking good for the SS.
An anti-tank gun has taken the field. Completed!
Yeah, the SS position is being overrun by the Shermans. That's why he should probably have gotten the pack earlier. Or lit some mines.
Forward elements report an infantry unit lost.
The Germans are being overrun on most of the fronts now. The Hitler Youth is just dying in droves here.
Receiving effective fire.
And Germans are going to lose that truck, but he did manage to get another pack out before he loses it, so that's going to at least help in the future. That's a command crew. Command crew going for the vehicle, huh? Oh, because it is their command vehicle. Oh, that's cool. Well, the Americans are really trying to push up here now. Many Shermans out in the open. Oh, getting a Panzerschreck for the veterans. That can also work.
We lost a gun crew.
Puma moving to the other flank here to support the hedgerows. SS is still somehow holding this position. Incendiary rocket going for the American position. Didn't hit anything.
Ready for action.
Greyhound got taken out by the German AT.
Target now. Send your orders. Form up. Get that crew ready.
Oh, we have some special forces coming in. First special service assault teams on the field. Looks like we might have some sneaky stuff going on if they know how to use them and can get them behind enemy line. They're also being armed with the Mthis commando carbine. What does this say? Huh. But the sheer amount of Shermans here going to be able to overrun this SS position. It's just not enough here. The SS needs to dig in with more things. So the Hitler Youth and the Hitler Youth and the US are having a little bit more of an engagement here now. Tries to attack. But here comes the Shermans.
Dismount!
High explosive shields are tearing through the position. Oh, just too much fire on them.
We lost a gun crew.
Not looking good for the Leibstandarte. They lost most of their troops. And the Sherman is about to flank. Puma on the field.
Panzer IV battle troops ready for deployment.
Puma's actually getting a good penetrating shot. And one Sherman is down.
Combat unit ready.
American Shermans are amassing on this flank.
We lost an infantry unit.
But 17th SS are here to support the Totenkopf. But the Shermans might be preparing for a big push here shortly. That's a lot of 76 units, but the pack is getting shots on them. Stuk G coming under the field for the SS here.
Standing by.
More Leibstandarte troops are arriving. And the 17th are still somehow doing good. This is a really good Puma.
Stand ready.
It's actually gotten an improved breach.
Command
So
level
it reloads 25% faster, which can be a very big deal. Americans is hastily trying to take a fighting position,
Get ready.
but the command F1 should put an end to that. Oh, we actually have some 28th Americans here, the bloody buckets.
Emplacements.
The Germans do need to set up a new forward command post, though. But Stuk G has arrived. If this thing is entrenched properly, it can actually do a lot of damage to allied tanks. Looks like the SS veterans are trying to push up. Well, not out in the open now to threaten them. They might be doing okay here. Oh, but several mortar shells are landing near them. And the Americans are just behind that hedgerow. That's a lot of Shermans. But the packs are starting to creep up. Supported by the 17 feathers. We should probably invest in getting up a repair post for them. Well, very good job with the veterans there. They've been doing a good job throughout most of this. But they might die there if they're not careful, because that's going to run straight into the 50 cal. Oh, the 50 cal seems to be missing.
Where's that coming from?
The Americans still have a strong point in the center, though. He are now armed with a Scott. But there's very little to threaten the Stuk frontally. Except this Sherman actually got a penetrating shot. And that Stuk has to be careful now. Puma is immobilized. Will this be the end of the Puma? Yeah, the Puma is gone. But so is the American AT gun. They need to take out that bunker. A fragmentation grenade going in on it. That's not enough. The command and the Steadfast force are just staying in the town by this. They're not really being served from behind the enemy line operations. Germans are entrenching more in the town. In the hedgerows, I mean. And they've got another truck ready, probably to set up a new forward HQ. We have a 105 Sherman coming into the field, and we have a walking Stuka for the Germans. That could probably decimate the town entirely.
Armor here. Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
Looks like that Jack still doesn't have a lot left. He's lost a lot of troops. We have an M36 coming out here, Jackson, for the United States. That's going to threaten any German heavy tanks that might come onto the field. And I don't think we'll see many of those currently. We have Panzer 4J coming for the 17th. Does not look good here. The Scot is just fitting the flank continuously. I would say GX will probably build the repair station which Americans all get access to. It would help him a lot with not having to micromanage that. Stuk is being pulled back for repairs. Yep, there we go, that's the new medic position going up there. That's a good spot, right next to where you actually arrive with troops.
HQ operations now underway. Send your orders.
So we have a little bit of a lull in the fighting currently. Thunderstorm Fury is still on the field and doing a pretty good job. Oh, this is a new veteran squad. Probably missed the old one getting destroyed somewhere. Ah, the special forces on the flank here. Suppressing the veterans. Ah, the walking Stuk did a very good job destroying much of the forces inside the town here now. We have Panzer 4J now for the Totenkopf as well. Americans still don't have the big advantage here, just in numbers. The sheer amount of tanks they have coming in might be too much for the Germans, but we don't know yet. No special forces are in a bad position though. But the special forces do drop smoke grenades when they retreat, which gives them a much higher level of survivability. We have a new group of Volkssturm coming in to try and show off the front. Panzer 4J against Sherman 76s. Probably not the best fight. surprisingly, it's taking a lot of hits. That's surviving way longer than expected. That's a lot of special forces. That's a lot of special forces. And they're not exactly being utilized the way they should, because special forces are not meant to be frontline fighters. They're not line infantry. Those 76s are providing a little bit of an issue for the Germans here. They're still holding their position though. Well, Jim says he took the town briefly. Looks like they might have a much more of a comeback happening. But they need more troops. And I suppose that's why the 17th are calling in more Panzer Grenadiers. Yes, they're still holding out here somehow. Not sure what Jackson is doing. Or trying to kill the bunker.
Upgrade complete. One of our forward structures has been destroyed.
Officer coming out. There are packs here to try and stop this Sherman. He needs to be careful where he moves.
Infantry, dealing with the MG.
Oh, but the pack didn't penetrate, but the Sherman missed. Oh, but that one did not miss. On the other flank, not much is going on yet.
Crew ready.
It looks like Jack is having a hard time coming back from his losses early on, where he pushed almost all the way up to the German base. Oh, we have a Beutepanzer Sherman coming in, giving the Americans a taste of their own medicine. We have some actual Panzer Grenadiers. You have the 17th Panzer Grenadiers, which are actually a really good unit that's worth getting. Being out with MP40s by the looks of it. More 17th SS are coming in. Stormtroopers and normal Grenadiers alongside the Panzerjäger. American Special Forces not doing too well.
75mm howitzer standing by for orders.
Another MG08 coming out. And more artillery being calling by the Untersturmführer. Looks like a fake barrage though. Oh, that hurts. That's the dead Untersturmführer. Volkssturm are just being used to man the equipment by the looks of it. That is one way to use them. 105 Sherman is slowly being pushed back by the 17th SS's counter-assault. The Germans have pushed them out of the remains of the town.
We just lost a medium tank.
They're dropping in emergency weapons to try and deal with this Panzer moving up. Oh! He needs to kill that AT gun though. There it goes. Americans are still trying to hold here, but the Germans have pushed them back inch by inch now. Looks like the sheer tenacity of the SS starting to kick in. Unable to give an inch of ground.
Send orders. Officer, ready to redeploy. Heavy MG hit. Stand ready.
I really like this 17th SS. They're probably one of my favorite Panzer Grenadier units. Because they can get a very good selection of equipment, including an LMG-42 with 100 rounds. Which makes it very effective at sustained fire. Germans are pushing up again. Very little to stop them. Only an MG08, really. Poor Volkssturm just being left there to guard the front. No reinforcements coming.
Enemy neutralized. Rounds ready. Get eyes on target.
And the 17 SS is just pushing up really rapidly now. Even stealing a 75mm pack howitzer. That's a weapon they could use. In fact, it looks like that Fry lost practically everything when the town got bombed by the walking Stuka.
Tank support is here.
Now the Panzer 4J coming out. No tanks yet for the Panzer Division. They probably lost too much early on to not really get the last truck for it. He's held the hedgerows fine though, and the walking Stuka has proven to be a really good boon to his allies.
Prepare for combat. Armor ready.
Priest coming in for the Americans. Smokey still does not have a lot of units on the field at the moment. Really relying on his veterans to do much of the work. Home engagement happening over here. A Kettenwerfer put inside the building here, providing it a lot more range to work with.
Pioneer Cooper is ready for action.
Life Standard Grenadiers moving up. And with MP40s. But high explosive shields in their face is gonna stop them. Veterans will be securing the ground. These veterans actually... You got to see the presence on the field at least. Since SS is supporting the third SS, I think these guys are. The third SS. And here comes the infantry of the 17th. Moving up rapidly with MP40s and Kar-98s. Oh, the priest just blew up with all its ammo cache. Oh, that's not good. And special forces are not going to be able to do much in that position. But the Americans are trying to flank. But they decide to get against him? No, he is trying to move to do so. But it might be a little too late. Panzer first, and there we go. The Germans are able to push back. They need more infantry support though, but the Panzer Grenadiers are trying to get up to the front line. And that truck is surprisingly hard to hit. There you go. Oh, they're threatening the American position. Incredibly, they're pushing really far up.
The capture point is being overrun.
They might actually threaten to encircle the American position here. Random American sniper out in the open is gonna have a very bad day. They could hit him. He's pinned, nope. It looks like the Germans might have actually made a good comeback here.
Get to cover and don't bunch up. Warning orders, man.
They might even be able to grab this point right here, which means they can probably call in reinforcements down there now. So a full encirclement is going on. Americans are really gonna be feeling that. And while the 17th are moving into the remains of the town again. Not as much of a town left. But the Panzer Division is not doing much. Just trying to hold the forest, or what's left of it. And the Americans are gonna have to be real careful here.
We lost
And the Germans are just encircling now. And that's an immobilized Boider Panzer. That's not gonna get out of there. There it goes.
A medium tank was destroyed.
And that's a Tiger race that's arrived. Looks like the Germans might actually have made the comeback. Very cool to see. Oh, but an AT gun is getting a penetration. But that's a high explosive shot coming out of it. Not that it was needed, I think.
Send your orders.
Yeah, the American position is not looking the best right now. It was really cool to see that the Americans pushed up so far early on, but the Germans have actually made a comeback from it. That's really cool to see. A good job by the SS players holding on despite the disastrous situation early on. I might have to make the Americans rethink trying to cross this river. Or trying to cross this area anyway.
Light vehicle destroyed.
Germans are scavenging the wrecks for more supplies. Oh, but here comes the Jackson. We easily threaten any of the German tanks present.
What are your orders?
Where did the Tiger race go? Did the Tigers get killed? I might have missed that. Huh.
Target destroyed.
I completely missed the Tiger race. No, no, there it is.
Stand by, crew.
I'm just blind. Never mind. I'm just a blind person. So the Americans are gonna make a tank push here. The Tigers is really gonna have to step up its game. 76 Sherman. Didn't penetrate. Ooh, that's a bad sign. Because Jackson, if they gets a flanking shot, that means that Tiger is in serious trouble. But they are covering its flanks. The Americans really have to be careful around this thing. Especially out in the open like this. That Sherman might be dead. Oh, he's going for the Jackson first, smart. And that's the Jackson dead. But he's lost the main gun on the Tiger. But the veterans are covering its flank. Too late for the Americans to make another attempt here. The Americans are able to retake this part of the map again, though. But it's too late to make another push for the Tiger, I think. Yeah, its gun has already been repaired. And the veterans are dead! Oh god, that's expensive. Tiger's moving up again. I would not suggest that personally, but I suppose given the circumstances. Oh, it's immobilized! Ooh, if they can get another shot on it, they could threaten that thing. Oh, but the Tiger is just in a really good position there. I'm trying to artillery it with the priest. Just one sliver damage will mean it'll take a lot longer for them to get it operational.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Oh, they're actually entrenching it. Yeah, the Tiger is just in a way too good position right there.
A medium tank was just lost.
Oh! That is dangerous to get up on, especially out in the open like this.
Orders complete.
So the Germans are going to capitalize on it. The Tiger is moving. Trying to hunt for that priest. Looks like the S-17 possess. No, that's not the Hitler U for trying to flank. That's not working their best. Tiger's hunting for the priest, and it might get there.
Contact Americana.
But it might be overextended. Oh, he did not penetrate. Oh, and a Panzer Rex shot coming in from the Panzerjägers.
Stand ready.
Oh, I was really lucky for that Tiger race right there that there was a Panzerjäger nearby.
Complete.
Oh, and there goes the priest. Direct shot into the ammo hole. Oh, not looking too good for the Americans now. We have a command panther coming out for Eric too. A lot more, but that's a mine right there.
Send orders.
Oh, that must have been quite surprising.
What is complete?
Because the first firing on the American position, probably around here. Yes, and it hits straight near the American tank, killing it.
Forming one of our emplacements. Rifle squad ready for action.
The Tigers is just pushing up towards the American base. Without any support at that. Well, there's support nearby, but it's only a Volksturm and a Stuk. That is one brave Tiger he's right there. But they probably know what they're doing. They've been around long enough.
Good hit.
Americans are just getting in more motorized infantry to drop off at the front line.
Standing by. Send orders.
Yeah, it looks like he's using MP3308s. Huh. Not a weapon I see too often, but it's an intriguing one. And the Tiger is just moving for the American base now. What's gonna stop them? There's no anti-tank equipment here. Oh, and that's high explosive incendiary running the troops.
Receiving enemy fire.
There's the pack howitzer, but that's not gonna work, I think. Germans are even taking the church here. Looks like the German encirclement is almost complete. The Americans are in a really dangerous spot now.
Ready for action.
Really impressive though comeback from the Germans. This has been very exciting to watch. A Jagdtiger even arrived to cover the forest. Wow, okay. You even have the Nisai. Nisai being essentially American-Japanese soldiers who were treated very badly in all honesty. But they actually fought very bravely for the United States. But they were very segregated and mistrusted because of their Japanese heritage during World War II. Which is not really a nice thing for the Americans in all honesty. They're really effective assault infantry. They take heavy losses though. Oh, but that's a lot of Thompsons right there.
Promotion just came through.
Wait, the Tiger got killed? By a tank hunter. Wow, okay. Well, Germans have set up a fort base here now in the church. Just threatening the American position continuously now. Just from being present. Plus, they can technically call in troops from here if they put down their rally point down there now, by the looks of it. Jackson fighting the command panther. Not sure what that truck is doing. Have another Jackson coming out. But I think the American position is really bad currently. But perhaps they could make a comeback like the SS did. Who knows? But at this rate, I kind of doubt it now with the Germans getting all their heaviest vehicles. More Americans just flooding onto the battlefield. Jagdpanzer and Jagdtiger like, what are the Americans going to do against this? I suppose try to flank, but then the command panther stops them. Yeah, there's no real vehicle that can stand against the Jagdtiger shot. And there they go. The Allies surrendered. Guess the Americans are gonna need to find some other way to get into Germany. The SS held Steadfast today. I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Bye bye.